This conference will now be recorded.
Well, in the last class, we discussed about filter transformation and router transformation, right? Okay, so filter transformation is for to write the condition or to filter the source data, right? So to filter the source data inside the filter transformation, we write a condition. Okay, so if the condition is true, then it will pass that record through that transformation. If the condition false, then it will just leave that record as it is. It will not do anything for that record. Whereas the router transformation, it allows to write multiple conditions, and also if there are for any of the records, if the condition doesn't match, then it will send that record to the default group. So from default group, if we have connected to any of the table or log table, then those error records will be loaded into the log table. This is one of the most important interview question. Okay, what is the difference between filter and router transformation? In many of the interviews, they will ask, okay, what is the difference between filter and router transformation? You have to tell filter transformation will allow to write only one condition, whereas router transformation we can write multiple conditions. In filter transformation, if the condition doesn't satisfy, then it will just leave that record as it is. Whereas in router transformation, we have a default group. If the condition doesn't match, then all those records will go to the default group. And from default group, if you have connected to any of the log table, then it will load that record into the log table. Otherwise, it will leave that record as it is. That's it. Same as it is, you have to explain. If they ask about to explain the difference between filter and router. So this is one of the most important interview question. Okay, you note down and then you maintain the notes. So whatever the explanation terminology I have given, same as it is, you write down in your notes, and before attending the interview, you just have to go through these things. Next, today we will start with normalizer transformation. Okay, so what is this normalizer transformation that we will see? Normalizer transformation very rarely used in real time. Okay, uh, very few mappings we use. If they ask in interview, have you created normalizer? You can say no, but you have to say, I know what is the normalizer transformation. So normalizer transformation basically we use to transpose columns data into rows. Okay, is it clear my voice? Is there any background noise?
No, sir. It's clear.
Okay. So normalizer transformation, what is the use of normalizer? So normalizer transformation is for to transpose the columns data into rows. That is the use of this normalizer. Definitions also important. Okay, so for every transformation there will be different functionalities, like expression is for to write the functions, to hard code the values, to do calculations. Filter is for to write a single condition. Router is for to write multiple conditions. In the same way, normalizer is for to transpose the columns data into rows. So if they ask immediately, you have to say that this normalizer transformation we use to transpose the columns data into rows. That is the use of this normalizer. For example, here we have a source table EMP-NRMS1, employee number, employee name, original address and current address. Like that, we have address in two different columns. Okay, whereas in target we have address in only one column. While loading the data from source to target table, so these two addresses we have in two columns. So for each and every address we have to create a separate row. So 1A HYD, one row. For the same employee with current address, we have to create another row. This is called a row, right? 1A HYD is a row, and 1A USA is another row. Okay, so for the same employee address, we have in two different columns in the source, whereas in the target table, we have to load into two rows. You got it? So in the same way for second record also, we have address in two different columns. These are the columns. Original address is one column, current address is another column. So like that, we have address in two different columns. While loading the data into the target, we have to load into two different rows. So with 2BPLR is one row, QBUK is another row. So like that, there are total 4 rows here. Got it? So now what we have to do here? So to load the data from source to target, We know here we are doing transposing the columns data into rows. So to transpose the columns data into rows, we have normalizer transformation in Informatica. Okay, so now we will see how to use this normalizer transformation. So you create a table like this, select star from emp nrm underscore yes. S1. Normalizer NRM is the naming convention what we have to give. So you can see here we have address in two different columns, original address and current address. So with four columns you have to create a table. Okay, now the target table emp nrm t1. So this is the target table. Here we should have address in a single column. So for each and every employee, two records we have to create. One row with original address, another row with current address. So like that. So if there are two records after successful of execution, target table will have four records. Got it? So in the same way, here, if there are, tell me if there are 1 million records after successful of the execution, how many records will be getting the target table? If there are 1 million records after successful of the execution, how many records you will get in the target table?
One record.
Hmm?
One record, no?
No.
1 million should be 2 million.
Exactly. 2 million. Yeah.
Oh,
So
doubles.
2 million records you will get in the target table. So in your source, if there are 1 million records, double. So for each and every record, if two records are going to be created, one with original address and another with the current address. So exactly the same 2 million records will be created. Okay, that is the requirement here. So after creating the source and target table, then we have to start importing the source definition, import from database. So for every scenario, first you have to understand the requirement, what we have to do in this scenario, how we are expecting output should come in the target table. That you should know. Without knowing the requirement directly, simply if I have created the source, you also create a source in your database. And if I have created the target, if you also create the target, means no use. You have to understand for every scenario what is the requirement, what we are expecting to have the data in the target table. That you should know. So like that, we have to import the source and target definition, then create a mapping. M underscore emp underscore nrm underscore s1 t1. So like that, we can give some meaningful name. So after that, we will be drag and dropping the source definition and then targets in this is the target definition. So after that, we know in this scenario we have to transpose the column data into rows. For that, we have the normalizer transformation. Okay, so we have to create a normalizer transformation here, right? So for that, go to the menu transformation create. From this list, you have to select normalizer. There you have normalizer transformation. Select the normalizer. This starts with NRM. Create. Done. Normalizer transformation has created. Okay. So if you create normalizer transformation, we have to follow some steps. We have to follow some steps. Whenever we create normalizer, we have to follow some steps. So generally, till now, whatever transformations we have created, like expression transformation, filter, router, after creating, we do not have any ports here. We drag and drop to the ports from source qualifier to expression, or source qualifier to the filter, or source qualifier to the router. So we drag and drop to the ports, but here we are not going to drag and drop. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to follow some steps. So what are those steps? So whenever you create normalizer, you have to follow the same 4 steps. Okay, so you have to remember all these things. The first step, so create normalizer transformation. Yes, we have created. Second step, create columns in normalizer based on target definition ports. Okay, create columns in normalizer based on target definition ports. Okay, what it means? Create columns inside the normalizer based on the target definition ports. Means inside the target definition, if there are 3 columns here, employee number, employee name, address. So first we have to create the same number of columns in the normalizer also. If there are 30 columns in the target definition, here also we have to create 30 columns. If there are 100 columns here also we have to create manually 100 columns in the normalizer. Okay, so that is the meaning of the second step. So create the columns inside the normalizer based on the target definition ports. If the target definition contains 3 ports, the same 3 we have to add in this normalizer transformation. So open the normalizer, go to the normalizer tab. Okay, so to add the new columns, here we have a button, add a new column to this table. Okay, so we have to click this button. So since we have 3 columns in the target definition, the same 3 columns we have to add here in normalizer transformation. Okay, so after that employee number, the same column names you can give employee name, and here also we have to give address. Okay, not only in this scenario, any scenario you create, so you just follow the same steps. And then we have to check the data type. Employee number is a number. Employee name, is it the number? No, it is not a number, it's a string. You can select any string or a string type of data. So address also string type of data you can select. So this is our second step. So creating the columns manually inside the normalizer transformation based on target definition. So if the target definition contains 3, the same 3 we have to add here. Click on apply. Okay, see, as soon as I click on apply, okay, since we have created only 3 columns, but here we have got a total 6 columns or 6 ports we have got inside the normalizer transformation. For these 6, out of 6, 3 are input, 3 are having the outputs. For the same input, we do not have output. So for output, again, it has created another set. Okay, so another set of output ports got created. Normalizer transformation, it will here, as I told you, we have to create the columns manually based on target definition ports. After that, we have to uh, as soon as we click on OK, it will create 3 input ports, 3 output ports. That is our second step. Done. Next, third step. So third step, we have to set occurs in normalizer transformation based on source record repeat count in target table. So we have to set the occurs. We have a occurs in normalizer. So we have to set the occurs in normalizer based on source record repeat count in the target. Here, source record, each source record, how many times it is getting repeated in the target? Each source record, how many times it is getting repeated in the target? Same
Two times.
for the same
2 times.
employee, we are getting 2 records, one with original address, the other one with the current address. So like that, each and every source record is getting repeated 2 times. Okay, so that's the reason occurs could be 2. Even though, as I told you, if there are 1 million records, you will get 2 million records in the target table. That means each source record is repeating how many times? 2 times. So that's the reason occurs would be 2. Like that, if the source record is repeating 3 times in the target table, then the occurs would be 3. If the source record for the same employee, if you are creating multiple records, then occurs would be, so if 5 records are creating in the target table for each and every source record, then the occurs would be 5. So like that we have to set in normalizer. So open the normalizer, go to the normalizer tab. Here you can see we have occurs. Currently it is 0. We know each source record is repeating 2 times. That is the reason we are going to set the occurs as 2 here. For all these columns, we have to set the occurs as 2. That's it. Click on apply. Okay. So as soon as I click on apply, okay, you can see so many ports got created here. Got it? So for each and every column, you can see two input ports got created. So since I have set the occurs 2, so for one input port, two input ports got created, employee number 1, employee name 2. Okay, so employee number 1, employee number 2, employee name 1, employee name 2, address 1, address 2. Like the two input ports got created, and we have this employee number, employee name, address same as it is. Apart from that, these additional ports got created which give employee number, employee name. So these ports we are not going to use. We just have to leave that as it is. So after setting the occurs, now the next step we have to connect from source qualifier to the normalizer. So employee number to the number 1, the same employee number to the number 2, because both are employee numbers only, right? So this is one to many. The one to many is valid in Informatica. We can connect one to many. Same way, employee name to the name 1, employee name to the name 2. Like this one to many we have to connect, and then original address to the address 1, and current address to the address 2. Like this we have to connect. Okay, address not one to many, one to one we have to connect, because we have to create two rows for each and every source. Two different rows we have to create, one with original address, the other one is with the current address. So that is the reason we have to connect like this. And then so from here, employee number, employee name, address, these three directly we can connect to the target. That's it. See, with this we have created the mapping. So whenever we create normalizer, we have to follow the same steps. Okay, so after creating the mapping session workflow, everything, as soon as we start execute from the source, it will read the first record 1AHYD USA. So from the source, it will send like this. So first record employee number 1. Since we have connected employee number to both the employee numbers, we will get the same values 1 1. Employee name also we have connected parallelly, same employee name AA. Then original address is HYD and current address is USA. So like that, we will get the values of normalizer transformation. So here in normalizer, we have two set of values. Normalizer, we have two set of values. Number 1, number 2, name 1, name 2, address 1, address 2, like that. So from these two set of values, first it will send a first set of values. Employee number 1, employee name 1, address 1. The first set of values it will pass to the below output ports. Okay, so first set of values 1AHYD. So our employee number 1, name 1, address 1, we have 1AHYD. So like that. So these are the first set of values. Those first set of values it will pass to the below output ports. So 1AHYD it will pass to the target. Okay. After loading the first set of values 1AHYD, next the second set of values it will release. Employee number 2, name 2, address 2. Employee number 2 value 1, employee name 2 value A, address 2 value is USA. That is the second row or second set of values it will release to the output ports. So output ports we have connected to the target. The second set of values 1A USA, like that it will be loaded into the target. After that, from the source it will read the second row 2B BLR UK. So here we will get the values, the same employee number 22BB BLR UK. So like that we will get the values here at normalizer. Again, what it will do, here we'll have two set of values, right? So in these two set of values, first it will send the first set of values to the below output ports. 2BBLR is the first set and 2BUK is the another set that it will load into the target table. So after successful of the execution, we will get the output like this in the target table. Got it? Okay, so that's all about this normalizer transformation. So normalizer transformation is for to transpose the columns data into rows. So to transpose the column data into rows, we have normalizer transformation. Okay, so this normalizer transformation very rarely used in real time. Okay, so if they ask, you can tell that yes, I know what is the normalizer transformation, but I have not created. So this normalizer transformation basically we use to transpose the columns data into rows, like that you can do. Got it? Any questions here?
Sir, the normalizer transformation is always you should always normalize normalize columns into rows.
Yes, correct. That is the only use. Yeah, so always it will transpose the column data into rows.
That's fantastic, right? So then you can double your data.
Yeah.
And then, but sir, like, what? But will there be a core also with uh, um, a core with NRM transformation? Like, like what is that NRM transformation?
No, so here the only use of this is to transpose the columns data into rows. That's it. That is the
Oh,
only use of this complex.
got it, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, next. So here we have another scenario: transpose rows data into columns, the reverse way. Transposing the rows data into columns. Got it? So this is homework. So to transpose the rows data into columns, we do not have normalizer. Normalizer we cannot use to transpose the column data into rows. Okay, to transpose the column data into rows, we do not use normalizer transformation. So to reverse way, so you consider this as a source, and here our address we should have in two different columns. Got it? Okay, so for this we do not have we cannot use normalizer transformation, but we can use expression or any other transformations also we can use. Got it? This is homework. So you think how we can convert the rows data into columns. If you are not getting any logic, then you try to Google it. In Google, you try to find out how to convert rows data into columns in Informatica. Okay, so try to get the logic from Google and implement, and let me know if you are able to create a mapping for this. Got it? So will you try to create a mapping for this? Transposing the reverse way, rows data into columns.
Okay. Sure, sir.
Okay. So if you are not able to find out, then I will tell you what you have to do. But you just have to try how we can convert the rows data into columns. Okay, next. We'll move on to the another transformation. This is also normalizer also, they will ask an interview like what is normalizer and all. Okay, so you should have to remember, like, even though if you have not created in real time, so you have to say, yes, I have used normalizer transformation to transpose the columns data into rows like that. Okay, fine, next. Next transformation we have sequence generator. Okay, so in the name itself we have a meaning called sequence generator transformation. Means which is to generate the sequence numbers. Got it? In the name itself we have a meaning called sequence generator, right? So which is to generate the sequence values. Got it? Okay. So sequence numbers means for the first record, 1 second record, 2 third record, 3 fourth record, 4 fifth record, 5 sixth record, 6 like that we have to generate the sequence numbers. Okay. So here, so while loading the data from source to target table, if you observe, here we have only three columns: employee number, employee name, salary. Whereas in target table, we have apart from the source columns employee number, employee name, salary, we have one more column which is employee ID. So here we have to generate the number sequence numbers while inserting, even though the data is not coming from the source for this column, we have to load the sequence values for the first record 1, second record 2, third record 3, fourth record 4. Like that, we have to generate the sequence numbers. To generate the sequence numbers in Informatica, we have a sequence generator transformation. This is also one of the important transformations in real time. Many of the scenarios, wherever we have a requirement to generate the numbers like this, the target any of the column, then we can create a sequence generator transformation. So we'll see how to create the first
So
we create a like
is it a
this.
random sequence that's generated?
Not random. Sequence numbers means 1, 2, 3. It is not a random number.
Oh, it's like
It's a
consecutive.
sequence number. Random number is different. Sequence number is different.
Sounds good, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Random number means
Yeah.
2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 15, 1, 2, like that random numbers. No, I am
Yeah,
not
yeah.
saying about that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's to generate the sequence numbers. Okay, so like that you create a source table here
Uh-huh.
with some 3 columns.
Uh-huh.
So employee name, salary in the target table. Apart from the source columns, you should have one more new column which is EAD. So in this column, for the first record, 1, second record, 2, third record, 3, fourth record, 4, fifth record, 5, like that serial numbers or sequence numbers we have to generate in the target EAD column. These values we are not getting from the source. Okay, inside the mapping we have to create a sequence generator transformation. From that transformation, if you connect it to this EAD column, that sequence generator, so it will generate the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. Okay, so we'll see how to use that sequence generator transformation. First, go to here all sources, import from database, enter, connect. So this is the sequence. So first we imported the source definition. In the same way we have to import the target definition. Clear on this target. Go to the menu targets, import from database. Here we enter the target name, connect is the target. Okay, and then create a mapping. Underscore emb seq underscore s1 e1. So like that we will give some mapping name and then drag and drop the source definition. emb seq s1 targets emb seq t1. Like that we have to give. Okay, and then what we have to do is we know there is no change in employee number, employee name, salary. We can directly select all these things directly. We can connect with this employee number, employee name, salary. But for this EAD, we have to create a sequence generator transformation. Go to the menu transformation, create. From this list, select the sequence generator. SEQ, create, done. So sequence generator transformation is created. Okay, so from here, as soon as you create, by default, 2 ports created, next val and current val. We no need to create any new ports in sequence generator. By default, we will get here next val and current val. Always to get the sequence numbers, we have to connect with the next val to the EAD. So like this, we have to connect. Current value, no need to connect. We just have to leave that as it is. So always we have to connect the next value to the target EAD column so that we will get the sequence values in that column. Okay, got it. So always we have to connect the next value to the current value column to get the sequence values. Okay, fine. We have connected. Okay, now we know that it should have to generate the numbers like for the first record 1, second record 2, third record 3, fourth record 4, like that. We know. But how Informatica knows that, or how sequence generator knows that from which number it should have to start generating the numbers? Is it from 1, or is it from 100, or is it from 1000? Right? So how it should have to generate the numbers? How it will know? Okay, so for that, what we have to do is open the sequence generator, double click, and then go to the properties. You can see here we have the start value. So by default, what is the number you can see here? By default, we have 0. So that means, remember sequence generator transformation, by default, it will start generating the numbers from 1. Okay, so by default, it will start generating the numbers from 1. But we don't want the sequence number, sorry, by default, it will start generating the numbers from 0. Okay, so we don't want to start the numbers from we don't want to start the numbers from 0, right? So what is our requirement here? Our requirement is for starting the numbers from where which number?
1.
So we want 1. Okay, so we have to change this to 1. If you change this to 1, then it will start generating the numbers from 1. And then what is the increment by here? Increment by 1. What is by increment by 1? It should have to start from 1 and it should have to increment by which number?
2.
Okay, so it should have to start from 1 and increment by 1. Got it?
It will, next value will be 2. One step will go.
Yes, correct. Okay, so for every record, it will increment by 1. 1 plus 1, 2. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 1, 4. Like that. Okay, suppose let's say if I set the start value 100 and increment by 100, then what numbers we will get here?
200.
Yeah, for the first record 100, second record 200, third record 300, right? Okay, so if you set start value 10 and increment by 10, then we will get for the first record 10, second record 20, third record 30, fourth record 40, like that we will get, right? Okay, so whatever the number we set start value, with that number it will start generating the numbers. Okay, so if you don't want to start from 1, if you want to start from 10, you have to set the start value 10 and increment by 10. So it depends on our requirement. Okay, it depends on our requirement. We have to set the start value and increment by. Next, what is the end value here? We have some big number we have. We just have to leave that as it is. We are not going to touch anything. So always we have to set these three values: start value, increment by, and end value. Okay. So here, if you see, okay, start value 1, increment by 1 we have set. And for the first time, by default, inside the repository, the current value will be 0. For the first time, inside the repository, the current value will be 0. Okay. Right. So what it will do is, inside the sequence generator, we also have this equation. Next value equal to current value plus 1, current value equal to next value. Like that, we will have the equation inside the sequence generator. We don't need to write all these things. Automatically, it will calculate. So you no need to write all these equations. Okay. So you just have to set the start value and increment by. Automatically, it will take care. Automatically, it will take care to increment by the numbers whatever the start value and increment by we have set. So inside the sequence generator, we'll have next value equal to current value plus 1. So for the first record, as I told you, for the first time, so from the source, it will read the first record 10A100, 10A100 will send to the target. Parallelly, sequence generator will start generating the sequence number. Next value equal to current value plus 1. For the first time, current value will be 0 plus 1. Increment by 1 we have set. That's the reason here we will get 1. So 0 plus 1 is equals to 1. Okay, next value will be 1 for the first record. Since we have connected next value to EAD, 1 it will send to the target EAD column. Okay, so next it comes to the below put current value equal to next value. Next value we have got 1. So that 1 it will pass to the current value. After sending the first record to the target, so this next value and current value we will have 1. Next second record. So second record from the source it will pass to the target. parallelly sequence generator for the next second record. Next value equal to current value plus 1, current value of the last of processed record. So current value of the last processed record it will take, which is 1, 1 plus 1, increment by 1, 2. So like that for the second record we will get 2. Third record, current next value equal to current value plus 1. Current value of the last processed record 2 plus 1, 3. So for the third record we will get 3 here. Same for the fourth record 4. Like that for the first record 1, second record 2, third record 3, fourth record 4. So it will generate the sequence numbers. Even after loading all these 4 records from source to target table, this number will be the same. So it is not going to reset the current value. So it will hold, it will save that current value. Even after passing all the records from source to target table, it will save the current value. Okay, now let me execute this mapping. We have created the mapping. So for this mapping, we will create a session task and execute and see, since we have set the start value 1 and increment by 1, whether it is going to generate the numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4 or not. So this is the mapping sequence S21. Click on OK, done. Then go to the workflow designer, workflows. Execute S21, task, new task. So we have to connect like this and then save, execute, start workflow. As soon as we start execution of this workflow, in the source there are total, how many records are there? I think 4 or 5. So here we can see and monitor the status. So you can see there are 4 records in the source. All the 4 records loaded successfully into the target table. Okay, so here in EAD column, we would have got sequence numbers. Like you can see, for all these columns, data will get loaded from the source: same employee number, same employee name, same salary. Whereas the EAD, so you can see EAD column we have got the sequence values 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it? So if you have set start value 10, increment by 10, you might have seen here first record 10, second record 20, third record 30, like that. So it depends on our requirement. So how they are expecting to have the numbers in the target table. So we have to generate the same way. Got it? Fine, right? So this is how we have to create a mapping to generate the sequence numbers. Okay, fine. Now, first time we have executed successfully. Now tell me, same mapping, same source table, same target table, same mapping, same session, same workflow. So if I execute second time, if I click on start workflow second time, first time we have executed successfully. Second time, if I execute the same session, same mapping, same workflow, everything, tell me what it is going to do. How many records will have in the target table? If I execute the second time, the same mapping, same session, same workflow.
8.
Same mapping, same session. First time we have executed, we have seen there are 4 records are there in the source, all the 4 records loaded successfully. Now if I execute second time, the same mapping, same session, same workflow are there. I have not made any changes. Second time if I execute, what will happen? Is it going to fail or is it going to be succeeded?
Success.
Successful.
Okay,
We
so
double that.
exactly. What it will do? It will double.
Double the record.
Okay, so it will double the records. Double the records means the same. So what it will do is same again. All the 4 records it will extract from the source. Again, all the 4 records will be inserted inside the target table. Okay, second time after execution, you will see total 8 rows in the target. So every time if you execute, every time it will extract from the source, every time it will be inserted the same set of records into the target table. Fine. Okay, now second time we have executed. So if I execute second time, we know again the same set of records will be created inside the target table. Second time another 4 records will be inserted. For those second time, whatever the 4 records again it is going to be inserted, tell me what is the sequence number it will start. From which number it will start? It will start from 1 or it will start from 5.
It will start from 1 because
So if it
uh,
is
EID would be employee ID would be starting with it will be in the sequence uh, 1 to whatever the sequence is 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah. It will EID will be in the sequence.
okay, so second time again if we start execute, so it will not start from 1. Okay, so I told right the current value next value equal to current value plus 1. What is the last first 4 records inserted? The last processed record current value is 4. When it is trying to insert another record 10A 100, for that record next value equal to current value plus 1. So what is the current value of the last record? What is the current value of last record?
4.
4. 4 plus 1. Increment by 1 we have said that then it will do plus 1. 4 plus 1 5. So that you will get from 5. 5 6 7 8 you will get. After loading 8 records into the target table, current value would be 8. Okay, so after loading 4 records into the target table, current value would be 8. Next, third time if I execute, same mapping, same session, same workflow. If I execute third time, then what it will do? Another same 4 set of records will be inserted. Third time if I execute, from which number it will start generating the sequence number?
218.
Huh?
That is correct.
Okay, third time if I start execute, it will start from 9 because it generated till 8 for the next record. Next value equal to current value plus 1. Current value of the last process record 8. 8 plus 1, 9. So from 9 you will get the numbers. So let me execute the second time. Second time again it will extract all the 4 records. All the 4 records will be loaded in the target table. You can see here. So you can see it has extracted 4 records. The same 4 records loaded into the target table. Now the target table will have again the same 4 set of records. Total 8 records will be there. You can see for these records we have got the number from 5. Same if I execute third time, again it will select the 4 records. Again the same 4 records will be inserted inside the target table. Got succeeded. So here in the target table, if you observe, at this time we would have got the numbers from 9. We have the number serial numbers like that. If you want to generate the serial numbers like this or sequence numbers in the target table in any of the column, in the mapping we have to create a sequence generator transformation and we have to set the start value 1 and increment by 1 so that it will generate the numbers like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 that. So it will start generating the sequence numbers.
Only there was an option to end value. If we put any end value like 10, so this increment will restrict only 10 values.
So we will see that in the next example.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are talking about the sequence numbers. The end value scenario we'll see in the next example what will happen if you change the end value. Okay, fine. So here we have seen loading the sequence numbers in the target table as per the sequence generator transformation. It has generated the sequence values like this. Okay, next another scenario in sequence generator. This sequence generator transformation not only generating the sequence values, we have another type of scenario here, generate the cyclic numbers. Okay, so till here this scenario we create in real time, but from here there are other scenarios. So these scenarios we are not going to create in real time, but they are important for interview. In interview they may ask these scenarios. The first one here, After generating the sequence number, the second scenario in sequence generator is generate cyclic numbers. Cyclic numbers means, let's say there are totally 8 records in our source. While loading the data from source to target table, first record 1, second record 2, third record 3. Next up, while inserting the fourth record, for the fourth record I want to again start from 1. After reaching 3, again it should have to start from 1. Fourth record 1, fifth record 2, sixth record 3. After reaching 3, again for the seventh record it should have to start generating the number from 1. Okay, so 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, or 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, or 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5, like that. So it should have to start from 1 and increment by 1, but the end value should be some specific number. Let's say it's 3. So if you set the end value 3, then it will not generate 4. Okay, so now what we have to do is to generate the cyclic numbers like this. So open the sequence generator, go to the properties tab. So here start value 1 and increment by 1. End value we are going to change this to 3. So that means what is the max number it is going to generate? Only 3. Okay, so assume this is another interview question. There are 10 records in the source. There are 10 rows in the source table, and we have used the sequence generator transformation to generate the sequence numbers. We have set the start value 1 and increment by 1, and we have set the end value 3. We know the maximum number it is going to generate till 3, but we have 10 rows. What will happen to the execution? Will it going to generate for the 10 records 1 to 10 serial numbers or sequence numbers, or it will generate only till 3? Any guess what will happen if you set the start value 1, end value 3, but there are 10 rows?
It will print only 3 values. It will not cycle check.
Okay,
Start,
so after generating, yes, go ahead.
yeah, it will start the fourth value again 1.
What it will do? It will.
Start the fourth row with the start value. Is it so?
Okay, so what it will do is it will not start from 1 again. Okay, so it will generate for the first record 1, second record 2, third record 3. Since it has reached the maximum end value, okay, so for the next record, what number it should have to generate? How it knows, right? So we have not set any other property here. If there are 10 rows, if you have set only end value 3, okay, so in that case, it is going to fail the execution. It will not generate 4. It will fail. You try all these things, you have to play with the sequence generator transformation by creating the different types of mappings. Okay, so have some 10 records in the source and set the end value 3, execute and see whether the execution is going to be succeeded or failed. Okay, fine. I don't want to fail the execution. So here we have another property called cycle. If you enable the cycle option, then if there are 10 records in the source, after generating 1 2 3, since we have enabled the cycle, again it will start from 1. From where it has started, again from there it will start. Okay, so if you set start value 1, increment by 1, and end value 3, it will start from 1. Okay, 1 2 3 we will get. After reaching 3, since we have enabled the cycle option, again it will reset the current value to 0 automatically, and then for the next record, fourth record, 0 plus 1 1. From 1 again it will start generating the numbers. Next 1 2 3, again after reaching 3, since we have enabled the cycle option, it will reset the end value to 0, current value to 0, and then for the next record it will start from 1, like that. So to generate the cyclic numbers, we have to enable the cycle checkbox, so that if you have set the start value 1 and increment by 1 increment 3, it will generate the numbers like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, like that. Understand? So this one you have to practice. This is homework. So create source table with this name, with these column, insert some 8 records like this. Create a target table with 4 columns, 2 cyclic number, Do not insert any records in the target table. So set these properties in sequence generator, execute and see whether you are able to generate the cyclic numbers or not. Clear? Will you able to do this? No?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, try this one. Next, another scenario. So here we have another scenario. Every run start the sequence value from 1. Every run we have to start the sequence numbers from 1. What it means? First time, let's say there are 4 records. Assume we have only 4 rows in the source table. Okay, so if I execute the mapping to generate the sequence numbers, it should have to generate 1, 2, 3, 4. Second time, before we execute, I have inserted one new record in the source table. This time total, how many rows are there in the source?
5.
5 are there. Okay, so second time if I execute, by default, for the again it will select these 5 records. For these 5 records, from which number it will generate the sequence number by default?
1.
So in this scenario, the same again I'm asking. First time it has generated 4. There are 4 records, 1, 2, 3, 4 it has generated. Second time if I execute the same mapping, same session, same workflow, from which number we will get?
5.
So we will get from 5 by default, right? So we will get from 5 by default 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So here also, since there are 5 records, it should have to start from 5. Okay. So, but I don't want to start from 5. I want sequence number to be start from 1. So second time we are executing, it should have to start from 1. If there are 5 rows, it should have to generate the numbers from 1 to 5. Next, third time before I execute, assume we have 100 records in the source table. Third time again, from which number it should have to start generating the number? Again 1.
1.
Every run, every execution, okay, every run or every execution, it should have to start from 1.
So we will check cycle and put end value 4.
If you set end value 4, then if you enable the cycle option, it will generate max which number? Maximum, what is the number it is going to generate?
Yes, max 4.
4. But now here assume I have 5 rows. So it should have to generate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 also it should have to generate. Another run, if there are 100 records, so it should have to start from 1, again it should have to generate till 100. So if you set max value 4, that is end value 4, then you will not get 100, right?
Right.
Every run we have to start from 1. Every run, whenever you execute a workflow, doesn't matter, it should have to start from 1. How many records are there? Those many number of sequence numbers it should have to generate. Every run it should have to start from 1. Then what we have to do? So for that, so here we should not enable the cycle option. End value, whatever the big number was there, just type some number, leave it. Start value 1, increment by 1, end value some big number, and cycle we have to remove, and then reset checkbox we have to enable. So reset checkbox, if you enable, at the end of every execution, it is going to reset the current value to 0. First time if there are 4 records. So since we have set the start value 1 and increment by 1, it will generate the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. After generating the 4, current value will be 4. But because we have enabled the reset checkbox, it is going to reset the current value from 4 to 0. Second time if you execute, next value, next current value. What is the current value now? Second time if you execute,
Current value would be 1.
second time if you execute, current value 0. 0 plus 1, 1. We will get 1. I repeat, first time there are 4 records. So it has generated the sequence numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. After generating the sequence numbers till 4, what is the current value now? By default, after generating the 4 records, what is the current value?
1. Current value.
So here, first time we have 4 records.
Current
So
value.
after loading 4 records into the target table, what is the current value? After loading first time 4 records from source to target table, after loading 4 records, what would be the current value? Right? So after generating the 4 numbers we already discussed, right? So after generating the 4 numbers, the current value will be 4 by default. For the next record, from which number it will start? 5. So because 4 plus 1, 5. We will get 5. Okay, but since you have enabled the reset checkbox, what it is going to do is after loading 4 records, so the current value after loading 4 records, the current value it is going to reset to 0 instead of 4. It is going to reset it to 0. It will change it to 0 because of the reset. So reset at the end of the execution, the current value is going to be 0. So if it is going to reset to 0, next time if you execute again, these 4 records will be selected. Next time from which number it will start generating the sequence numbers? Start from 5. Which number it will start? Nisar, Fazil, Sunil, you can unmute and give the answer. First time we have 4 rows. It has generated the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. After generating numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, current value will be 4 by default. Second time if we execute, current value plus 1, 4 plus 1, 5. We will get from 5. But if you enable the reset checkbox, the current value is going to reset to 0. From 4 to 0, it will update automatically. Since it is going to update it to 0, for the next record, second time if I execute, same if there are 4 records, from which number we will get the sequence values here. Will it start from 1 or it will start from 5? If you have enabled the reset checkbox,
You will start from 1.
right? So it will start from 1 because for the last processed record, okay, for the last processed record,
0.
current value by default it was 4, but since we have enabled reset, it has reset the current value to 0. So that is the reason next time when we execute, so next value equal to current value plus 1. Current value of the last processed record 0. 0 plus 1, 1. So from 1 onwards it will start generating the numbers. Like that every run it will start from 1. Doesn't matter how many number of records are there, those many number of sequence numbers it will generate, but for every run it will start from 1. Got it? Clear, right? So this is also homework. So you have to create a source table, target table. Okay, source table, target table, and do not insert any records in the target table. Okay, so first you should have 4 records in the source, and enable the property start value 1 increment by 1. Okay, and enable the reset checkbox. First time for those 4 records should have to generate 1, 2, 3, 4. Next second time before you execute, you insert one new record in the source table. Now there are total 5 records. So second time if you execute the same workflow, what sequence numbers it should have to generate in the target table for those 5 records? What number it should have to generate for those 5 records? Second time if you execute, what numbers will generate for those 5 records?
Start with 1.
Right? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 records will get.
Yes, if the checkbox is selected.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, so this one also you can practice. Third time you insert 2 more new records. And see, total this time, third time you will have total 7 records. After inserting 2 more new records in the source table. So for these 7 records, if you execute, it should have to start from 1 and till 7 it should have to generate the numbers. Okay, that's it. Clear, right? Okay, next another scenario. So here we have 2 more scenarios. They are also very important for interview. Okay, so this type of scenario we are not going to create in real time, but this is logical scenario. So first understand the requirement, what we have to do, it would be very easy. So the requirement here is we have one source table EMP-SEQS4. To create one source table, insert some 8 records like this in the source table. And for this scenario, you have to create 3 target tables. One source, 3 target tables you have to create. Okay, so EMP-SEQT4 one with the same 3 columns. EMP-SEQT4 underscore 2, this is the second table. EMP-SEQT4 underscore 3, this is the third table. While loading the data from source to 3 targets, first record we have to load into the first target table. Second record we have to send it to the second target. Third record we have to send it to the third target table. Next, fourth record, again it should have to start loading from 1. Fifth record, second target table. Sixth record, third target. Seventh record, first target. Eighth record, second target. Like that, first record into the first target table, second record into the second target table. Third record we have to send it to the third target table. After loading the third record, next fourth record, which target table we have to load?
First table.
First table. Okay, so fourth record we have to send it to the first table. Fifth record we have to send it to the second table. Sixth, the third, again seventh.
Seven should be
Again,
first.
we have to load into the first target, like that. Okay, so this is how we have to load the data into the target.
I think
Got it?
hello.
Yes.
I think for this, this will not require any transformation. This scenario.
Okay, so without transformation, how you are going to load? Any guess?
Manually, it is very hard. There will be tons of data.
Through Informatica, how we can load it? First of all, you understand the requirement, what we have to do here.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. We know first record we have to load into the first target, second record, second target, third record we have to send it to the third target. Again, after loading third record, third target, we have to load the fourth record into the fourth record into the first target table we have to load. Okay, so for this, what do we have to do? So here we have the mapping. So in mapping, first you have to import one source. How many target definitions you have to import in the target designer? How many
Target
Three.
three.
Three target definitions. Okay, so in target you have to create three target definitions, right? So import three target definitions. In mapping, you will have one source definition and three target definitions. And sequence generator transformation, router transformation. Okay, in interview they will ask this same way, same scenario they will ask. Tell me here, I have one scenario like one source and three target tables are there. I want to load first record into the first target, second record, second target, third record, third target, fourth record. Again, I have to load into the first target. Like that, if you want to load, tell me in Informatica how to implement, what transformations we have to create, and what logic we have to write inside the transformation. That's how they will ask. You have to answer. In mapping, first of all, we need to have one source definition, one source qualifier will be there, and then three target definitions we will be importing. After that, in source and targets, we will be creating a sequence and router transformations. These two transformations we have to create. Okay, so first from sequence generator, next value we have to drag and drop to the router. Then from source qualifier, all the three we have to drag and drop to the router. And router we create here to write multiple conditions. Okay, since we have three targets to load the data, we have to write three different conditions. Okay, so in the first group, next value is equals to 1. Target definition 1. To load the data into the first target, so there we have to write next value equal to 1. And then in the second group, we have to write a condition next value 2. Third group, we have to write a condition next value 3. Default group will be there. We are not going to write any condition. If you want to track error record, then you can correct from default group to the any other target. But we are not going to correct the default group also. Okay, so we don't want the default group to be connected. So like that, we have to create a mapping. Inside the sequence, we have to set the start value 1, increment by 1, end value 3, cycle enable. So if you set these properties, how the numbers we will get here, how the sequence generator will generate the numbers for these properties. Can you tell me? For these properties, what numbers it will generate?
It will generate SV1 cycle enable. So it'll generate all the it'll record it'll record generate all the values without the sequence transformation.
Any others? For these properties, what numbers we will get? Fazil, any idea? What numbers we'll get for these properties?
1, 2, 3.
That's it.
First target 1, 2, 3. Second target 1, 2, 3. Fourth target 1, 2, 3.
Okay, not first target, second target. It will generate the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 like that. Just now we discussed, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so for the first record 1, second record 2, third record 3, again fourth record 1, it will generate 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 like that because we have set the end value 3 cycle enable. After reaching end value, again it will start from 1, right? Okay, fine. Now let's say with this we have created a mapping session, workflow, everything, and we have started execution. As soon as we start execute, source reader first record it will read from the source 10A100. 10A100 from the source it will send to the router transformation. As soon as router receives the first record, for the first record, what is the sequence? This next value we will get here. What is the next value for the first record?
1.
1. Okay, next value is 1. So that 1 it will pass to the below groups TD1, TD2, TD3. So in these three groups, which group condition will satisfy? First group, second group, or third group? Okay, again I will repeat. Hold on. Again I will repeat once again. So here from the source it will read the first record. So in router we have three groups created. First group we have written next value equal to 1. Second group we have a condition next value equal to 2. Third group we have a condition next value equal to 3. Like that, 3 conditions we have written in router transformation. Okay, so now we have started execution. As soon as we start execute, reader will read the first record from the source table and it will send to the router. For the first record, what is the next value we will get? For the first record, since we have set the start value 1, what is the number we will get for the next value?
2.
Next value.
Next
For the
value
first
2.
how come to man? We will not get 2, right? For the first record, what is the number we will get?
Because
For the
current
first
value.
record, so first record here we have set the start value. What number here we have got for the first record? So we have set the start value 1, increment by 1, end value 3 we have set. So even though if you have set start value 1, increment by 1, end value 3, and cycle if you have same properties, okay, same here I have written start value 1, increment by 1, end value 3, cycle enable. So for the first record, from which number it will start generating the numbers? Is it from 1 or 2?
1.
So for the first record 1, right? Next value equal to correct value plus 1. For the first
Yes.
record, correct value will be 0. 0 plus 1, 1. From 1 it will start. So next value will be 1 for the first record. So that it will pass to the below groups inside the router. So which group condition will satisfy for the next value equal to 1?
Second.
Second.
Second group.
Why second group? What is the next value we have got for the first record? For the first record, what is the next value we have got here?
First value will go to the first.
My question was, what is the next value for the first record? What is the next value for the first record? We have started first record, right? 10A100 is the first record from the source. That 10A100 it will send to the router. For that first record, what is the number it will generate? What is the next value for the first record?
It will be 1.
1, right? For the first record, it will start from 1. We have discussed so many times till now. So for the first record, it will start from 1 because next value equals current value plus 1. For the first record, current value will be 0, 0 plus 1, 1. We will get 1. Next value will be 1 for the first record. So next value will be 1, employee number 10, employee name A, salary will be 100 for the first record. So those values router it will pass to the below 3 groups. Out of these 3 groups, which group condition will satisfy for those values?
First group.
Why first group?
Because you have said TD NV equals to 1.
Right? Yeah. So again you told second group. Second group, why second group will satisfy? Because next value we have got 1. So 1 it will pass to the below groups. In the below groups in TD1 first group we have next value equal to 1 condition. That's why this group will satisfy the condition. The first group we have connected to the first target. So first group, since we have connected to the first target, the first record will be loaded into the first target table. Fine, done. Only 10A100 will be loaded. We are not loading any sequence number in the target. Just to check the condition, we have this sequence next value here. Okay, fine, done. First record loaded successfully. Now the second record. So second record 20B200. So from here, source it will pass the second record 20B200 to the router. So parallelly, what is the number we will get here? Next value for the second record?
2.
What is the next value for the second record?
2.
Will be 2.
What is the next value for the second record?
It will be
1
2.
plus
1 plus 1, 2.
1 plus 1, 2. Right? So next value will be 2 for the second record. So 1 plus 1. Okay, 2 we will get here. So next value will be 2. It will pass to the below groups. So now for the second record, which group condition is satisfied?
table number 2.
So NV is equal next value equal to 2. Second group condition will satisfy. So second record, second group condition will satisfy and it will be loaded into the second target. Next third record, 30C300. 30C300 from the source it will send to the router. Parallelly, sequence generator, what is the next value for the third record?
2 plus
3.
1.
3.
It is 3. Okay, next value 3, which condition will satisfy?
With the third condition.
Third group
TD3.
condition will satisfy. Third group we have connected to the third target table, it will load the third record into the third target table. So till now first record loaded into the first target, second record second group condition satisfied and it has loaded into the second target, third record third group condition satisfied and it has loaded into the third target. Done. So 3 records loaded. Next source, it will read a fourth record 40D400. So 40D400 it will pass to the router. For the fourth record, what is the next value you will get here? What is the next value you will get for the fourth record?
Cycle is enabled, so it will be 1.
1, right? Since the cycle is enabled, this will be 1. Okay. For the fourth record, next value is 1. There is a lot of background noise from your side. Don't know. Lot of background noise. Okay. So for the fourth record, the next value will be 1. So fourth record, first group condition will satisfy. Fourth record, it will be loaded into the first target table. Next fifth record, what is the next value?
Yeah, it will be 5. 4 plus 1.
What man, where are you?
It will be 2.
2,
Sorry,
right?
sorry. My bad. Yes, it will be 2 and it will be for the second.
Cycle option, max 3 only it will generate. After generating 3 for the fourth record, it has generated 1. So 1
Sorry, yes.
fourth loaded into the first target table. Next fifth record, so the next value will be 2 because for the last record generated 1, for the fifth record 2. So second group condition will satisfy. Second group we have connected to the second target table. That record will be loaded into the second target table. Next sixth record. So from the source it will read the sixth record. It will send to the router. For the sixth record, what is the next value? Okay. So it will generate 3. So third group condition will satisfy. Sixth record will be loaded into the third target table. Right? Next seventh record. So we have seventh record. Seventh record it will send to the router. Parallelly sequence generator. What is the next value for the seventh record?
It will be 0 plus 1, again 1.
So we will get 1 here. So for seventh record we will get 1 and first group condition will satisfy and it will be loaded into the first target. Same way if record 2 and second group condition will satisfy, it will be loaded into the second target.
Yes.
Okay, so like that it will load into the target. Understand? Row by row you have to go through like this and try to understand how it is loading the data from source to target. Okay. Clear, right? Any questions here? Okay, in real time we will not create such type of scenario, but in interview they will ask. They will ask the logic, sequence generator, what logic we have tried, what properties we have to set, router, what properties we have to set. Like that they will ask. Okay.
So what are the router specific properties?
We have completed. You tell me what are the router specific properties we have to set here. What you have listened till now.
It's variation. There's a variation, yeah.
What properties we have to set in router?
So sorry. Value, default value, a value, and then transformation and expression transformation.
Okay, hold on. So after this class, I will upload the recording. You go through once again this recording and try to understand what properties we have to set inside the router transformation.
Yes, sir.
Step by step, I explained till now, and still you are not able to understand what properties we have to set in router. Can anyone tell me what we have to set in router? What we have to do in router?
We can set multiple conditions in router transformations, and
Yes.
and it is the advance of filter
Not
transformation.
multiple. We have to set exactly what we have done here. So here in this scenario, what we did here in router?
Multiple conditions here.
What are those conditions? Multiple means that is definition. I'm not asking the definition. What we have done in this scenario?
We have TD1, TD2, TD3. These are the
Condition means
conditions.
if value is one,
Oh,
then data should be in target definition 1. If value is 2, then target data
What
should be
value? What value? No half of answers. You have to give full answer. What value? Is it current
sequence
value or next value?
next value.
next one.
That we have to tell. We have written next value. Value means the meaning will change. Your answer is wrong. Even though you know the concept, but you are not giving proper terminology, proper words you are not using, meaning will change. Try to understand, remember those words, same as it is you have to tell. So next values, conditions we have written inside the router transformation. 3 groups we have created in router. 3 conditions we have written inside the router transformation. So in those group, each group, the first group we have written a condition next value equal to 1. Second group we have written a condition next value 2. Third group we have written a condition next value equal to 3. Like that, exactly what we have written, that you have to tell, not half of answers. Okay, so if you say like that in interview, they will tell you, okay, so you can leave, that's it. Terminology very important. Exact same names you have to use. Okay, fine. So that's all about this scenario. And here we have another scenario. Same. Okay, here one record we have loaded in target, but here two records you have to load into the target. 10, 20 you have to load into the first target table. 30, 40 you have to load into the second target. 50, 60 load into the third target. Right? Again, 70, 80 load into the first target. So either one record into each target or two records in each target. So in this scenario, you have to set the same mapping. You have to set these properties in sequence generator: start value 1, increment by 1, end value 6. Cycle you have to enable. End value you have to set 6 here. So it will generate till 6. Okay, and cycle you have to enable. And router transformation, same 3 groups you have to create. In the first group you have to write next value, not NV. You should not write NV. NV for our understanding purpose I have written. So you have here the column name is, you can see here next val we have NEXTVAL, like this you have to write in router. So after drag and dropping this next val to the router, you will get next val. Okay, so you in router also you have to write next val, not NV. Okay, next val equal to 1 or next val equal to 2. This is in first group. Next val 3, next val 4, next val 5 or next val 6, or operator you have to use here. So if you write like this, then two records will be loaded into each target. Understand the same way you try to understand this scenario also. Create another source EMPSEQ S5 and EMPSEQ T5 1, 2, 3 target tables for this scenario also, and same transformations you have to create, but these are the properties you have to set. This logic you have to remember what we have to write inside the sequence or router to get the records into corresponding targets. Got it? So this is also homework, you have to fix all those things.
Ali, this scenario, so end value we have given 6. Okay.
Yes.
So in last 70, 80 values, when you go for first target, the value will start again 1 and 2.
Exactly. Okay, so what it will do is, first it will start the, since we have set start value 1, increment by 1, end value 6, it will generate the numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6. After reaching 6, since again we have enabled the cycle, again it will start from 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6, like this it will generate. First record next value will be 1. Okay, next value 1 we have in the router first group. First group we have connected to the first target. First record will be loaded into the first target. Next second record, what is the next value? 2. Next value will be get 2. So 2 also we have in the router first group only, next value equal to 2. So that's the reason second record also will be loaded into the first target. Third record next value will be 3. Since 3 we have in the second group, so the this third record will be loaded into the second target. Next fourth record it will generate 4, sequence number 4. 4 we have in the same in the second group only. So that's the reason fourth record also will be loaded into the second target. Fifth record it will generate 5. So 5 we have next value in the third group. Third group we have connected to the third target. So that fifth record will be loaded into the third target. Sixth record it will generate the sequence number, that is next value 6. Okay, so that 6 we have in the third group. So the sixth record will be also loaded into the third group. Next, since it has generated the sequence value still 6, for the seventh record, what is the number it is going to generate? What will be the next value? What is the next value for the seventh record?
One value.
1. Right? 1. Because it has reached the end value 6 and cycle enable, that's the reason. For the seventh record it will be 1. So 1 we have in the first group, that's the reason seventh record will be loaded in the first group. Eighth record it will generate the sequence value, that is next value 2, and we have in the same first group. Eighth record also will be loaded into the first group. That's it. Clear? Got it, right? So try to understand before you create a mapping, and then you start implementing this one. Clear, right? Any questions here? Okay, another last scenario in this sequence. So if you read this one, this is also very important interview question or 100% interview question. Generate sequence values without using sequence generator transformation. Okay, so how we will generate the sequence values without using the sequence generator? The same one. So here, to get the sequence values like this 1 2 3 4, I have used the sequence generator. In some of the interviews they will ask, tell me, I don't want to use sequence generator in mapping. Without using sequence generator, here in EAD column I want to generate the numbers like for the first record, the second record, to third record, fourth record, 4, like that. This is 100% interview question. Many of the interviews they will ask. You note down, and this is also homework you have to try. If you are not getting, you Google it. So how to generate the sequence values without using sequence generator in Informatica. So like that you try to Google it, and you have to come up with the logic and create a mapping. So here I have given the hint by using the expression. You know what is meant by expression transformation, right? So how to create expression, what properties are there, so those things you know. So without using sequence generator, how to generate the sequence numbers means by using the expression transformation. So source definition, source qualifier, target definition, and in between, in place of sequence, you have to create expression. That is also another way to generate the sequence numbers. In some of the companies, to get the sequence numbers like that, they will not use sequence generator, they will use the expression transformation. So any way we can use, either we can use sequence generator or we can use expression transformation. This is also homework you have to try. If you are not getting the logic, if you don't understand how to generate the sequence numbers without using sequence generator, then you try to Google it, and there you will get the logic. Okay, definitely you will get the logic, and you have to create a mapping. execute and see. Okay, so whether you are able to generate the sequence numbers by using the expression transformation or not. That is the EMP. Okay, SCQ underscore S6, like that you can create a source table and insert some 4-5 records, and only one target table will be there. So the same way here, how we have EMP SCQ S6 and insert the same record, EMP SCQ E6, like that you create another table and have these columns in the target table and in this EID column. So this time by using expression transformation, you have to generate the numbers like this. First time, if there are 4 records, it should have to generate 1, 2, 3, 4. Second time, the same mapping, same session, if you execute, it should have to generate like from 5. Got it? And you have to note down that one. And before attending the interview, you have to go through this one, how we can generate the numbers without using sequence or by using the expression, how we will get that logic. You have to remember what logic you have to write in an expression, that you have to remember. Okay, so today total 6 scenarios are there in sequence generator and normalizer 1. There are 7 scenarios to practice. Okay, so these 7 scenarios we practice today, and then we'll continue tomorrow with some other transformations. So I'm sure that only 1 or 2 of you are practicing, others are not practicing. I don't know why you are not practicing. Okay, so even though if you are practicing, you are not updating me, that is different. Okay, but if you are practicing, just let me know so that I will also know that whether you are following or not. So I have to repeat once again, or you are able to understand or not. Right? So same day you have to complete whatever the scenarios I'm giving. So if you postpone, like yesterday scenarios, if you didn't practice yesterday 3-4 scenarios, and today you have 7 scenarios to practice. All 10 together, if you want to practice in single day, it would be difficult. So that is the reason from day 1 onwards I'm telling, whatever the scenarios I'm giving, at any cost you have to complete on same day. Okay, so please try to execute, try to create these ones and let me know if you have any doubts. Right. Any questions?
So there's 7 scenarios on total from yesterday and today.
Yeah,
For the past
more
days.
practice you do. So if you do more practice, you will get more hands-on experience because you are not going to join as a fresher. So if you are going to apply as experience, then definitely you should have more practical knowledge. That is the reason more scenarios I am giving you to practice. So please practice all those things and let me know if you have any doubts.
Sounds good, sir.
Okay, thank you. We'll continue tomorrow.
Okay.
Monday class, sir.
Not Monday, tomorrow.
Saturday.
Tomorrow means Saturday, not Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.